My name's Trent Spivey. I attend Hill College on rodeo scholarship. I ride horses every day, anywhere from colts to roping horses. And I've learned that if you ain't got everything right on your horses, then it just don't add up for a good day, especially with your saddle. First, there's 3 basic steps to saddling horses. First things first, to make sure that your horses are tied up well when you're saddling. The second thing is hygiene or cleanness of your horse. And the third thing, and most important thing, is to make sure that your saddle and your pads are put in the proper spots. So first, when you first start to clean the saddle horse, you want to come in the front and make sure they're tied well, which this one is. After the horse is tied well, you want to know that your horse is calm and not going to do anything ignorant when you're trying to saddle him up. Well, this horse is older and been around, so she don't act stupid. Second thing is, when you start to brush the horse off, your key areas are from front of the leg, straight up the front of your leg, to the rear end. But you want to make sure you get all the dirt off good. As you can see, she's pretty dirty. You want to, everywhere needs to be brushed, but your key areas are in her withers to her back. And underneath where your saddle goes to touch it, where your girt and your back girt goes. Brush her off like so. Do the same on this side. Make sure nothing of your dirt and your grime don't hurt your horse when you're roping or performing or just riding, therefore, if you're just riding one. The next thing you want to do is put your saddle pad on. This is a very important part. Your saddle pad needs to go on your horse like this. The front of your saddle pad needs to be in line with your front leg. See, how it comes down right behind your front leg, like so. The leather part, the middle of your saddle pad needs to be straight down the crease of your horse's back. That way, it sets good on your horse and it does not roll when you ride. When it's set in place, make sure everything's set in place, you grab your saddle. When you grab your saddle, you put it up on your horse. The saddle needs to set about 2 inches from the front of your pad. That way, you have enough in front, and you also have it pretty even at the back to where there's no problem with your horse. Alright, when cinching up your horse, this is a key part that most people just skip to. When you pull your girt under here, you want to make sure your ladder go, which is in my right hand, is straight. You run it through your cinch, like so. Okay? When you have it run through your cinch, that's one. Okay? You run back up to the top of your ladder go. This is your D-ring in your saddle. You run through it and come back through your girt again, which is just kind of looping like that. You pull, feels pretty tight. Tight enough to hold you on, snug. You can put your hands in there. You put it in a hole. In your ladder go. You have holes all through there. Pull the slack out of it. That way, your girt will hold your ladder go in the spot. When that is done, you run it up here to your ladder go holder. You slide it in and you pull it down. That way, that all stays nice and neat and don't get you wrapped up when you're riding. Next, you do the same, like so, with your back girt. You pull your back girt, you make sure your ladder go is straight. You run it through, first to the heel, give your back girt, pull up, run back through the back D-ring of your saddle, and back through your back girt. This does not have to be as tight as your front cinch. This just keeps your saddle from popping up as you're riding around, like so. Next, you have your ladder go holder for the back. You slide your ladder go in there, like so, like you did on the front. There, you have a horse saddled the way that it can perform and do well for you. As you can see, there's many parts to having a horse saddled right and saddled good, but the most important things are make sure your horse is tied up properly, make sure your horse is well brushed off at all times. That's to keep anything from rubbing them raw. Make sure your saddle pad and your saddle is put in the right spots. And that is the way that you saddle a horse properly.